This is TWiT.
Let me ask you about one of the things people were worried about, which is it always on? Is it always listening to me? Two problems with that. One is, of course, privacy. The other is battery life.
Well, the battery life is we've kind of mastered that. We've figured out a way to, to keep the battery use very low. Partially, it's because only a part of the display is on whenever that's happening. The privacy issue, it's not trying to listen to you to figure out what you're doing. It's only keyed off that little phrase there.
So my understanding was it's not sending anything back to Google until it hears, okay, yes, Google now. The phone knows what that looks like, the waveform, and then goes, I should now listen and send to Google what he asks for.
I mean, in a sense, it's like, clicking on a button and turning it on, right?
Right. I did not get a chance to play with it for more than an hour, so I have no idea what the battery life was like, but I did observe that I looked at as many phones as I could, which is probably about 8. Every one of them had been off power for at least an hour, some an hour and a half. None of them were below 98%. Presumably, they were all in that always-on listening mode, because that was what was being demonstrated. So it does look like the always-on listening mode is a very small amount of battery draw.
Yes. And there's also a notification going on. So we take a small part of the display. Well, you can see it now, that small part of the display. And that's the only part of the display that we turn on for notification. And so what's going on with this notification is, we found that a lot of people were checking their phone for the time because people don't wear watches anymore. And also they were checking to see if a new text message came in or, a new email had come in. And so we made it with this notification that it'll tell you what time it is, and if you have any new messages, text messages or email, and it sort of breathes in and out. It's not always on. The voice, the display is not always on. It breathes in and out.
So I don't have to touch it or wave at it as I would with another phone.
And I think Samsung also does smart. It knows that when it's in your pocket, there's no sense in breathing on and showing the notifications. And if it's upside down, it doesn't do that also.
That's another very interesting part of this phone. It's aware of where it is. It's aware if you're driving. It's aware if it's in a pocket. If it's aware if it's upside down. So if it's sitting on a desk next to you, it will periodically kind of breathe that in the time and show you the time and then fade out again.